JP Morgan, one of the world's longest standing banks, just teamed up with this fantastic project, a project we're all very familiar with. We also have the founder of Chainlink coming out with a very bold prediction, absolutely exciting information. And we have some information coming out about the middle class that you just cannot miss. So make sure to stick around. Welcome one, welcome all. C90FTW. I think my computer is charged. We've got a full battery here. But give me a sound check. Let me know it's coming over to you guys. Let's see here. What is going on? What is going on with this? All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. I got kicked out of my YouTube account just now. My God, hopefully it's catching up. I just saw someone naked. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, we have some really awesome news to get into. You know, crypto never sleeps, and lucky for us, neither do I. So without further ado, we're going to get into it here. Basically, minimize. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means, Zach Nasty. Probably something to do with sound. I want to learn. You know, I was in music for most of my life, and I hated the soundboard, and I have a beer. So we got a beer. We're going to crack this beer to the fantastic news floating around about JP Morgan and one of our favorite coins. We have the Federal Reserve tapping out, just like I said they would, but we're going to get into why. And we also are seeing some of the most bullish signals I've ever seen in crypto. So things are getting exciting, you guys. And here we are, the markets looking to research. Let's check it out here. Pop myself in the corner here, may as well. So Bitcoin, got to do a little checkup on her, see how she's doing. 37.4, not too shabby at all. Not too shabby at all. Bourbon, I have a bourbon. So yeah, I like bourbon. You know, I don't really like the one that I really like is whiskey, but I don't have it much. You know, special occasions. But here is Bitcoin. We got the 7-day. Absolutely. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'll scoot my face out of the way. But just a lovely, lovely little price action here. We may as well just pull it up on TradingView. Bring this up. Wonder how it's going to come out. Oh yeah, I have this chart. This chart right here. Much better. So now we are right on the brink of these little, it's looking like it's trying to seek out this little bump in volume, guys. This is exciting. It's trying to make a bump up to that $40,000 level where there is technically a volume node. A good amount of buying that happened there. It looks like Bitcoin is seeking out $40,000. It's choosing the 40 path rather than falling back down to this previous level. This would be max pain for everyone that was looking for a leg down. Max pain, as I said a few times, might just be up only. And obviously, you know, up only is a relative term. But if we don't revisit 20 again, boy, oh boy. But, you know, there's still opportunity. If you're in that boat, that's why we're digging into other altcoins that are capturing the notice. Well, crypto is just starting to wake up. That's where we're looking at, you know, things like Arbitrum, things that we've already shown, but also tracking them, you know, very closely to make sure that they keep that momentum up, to make sure that they're the right types of projects to move into if we don't get that crash again, guys. That'd be ugly. But as you can see, we are looking pretty right now. And in general, the MACD, I don't know if you can even see this thing. Let's see if I can. Oh, I just deleted it. Son of a. The MACD is looking good. In essence, I think we're going to be searching out that 40 spot rather than the volume node below it, which is right at about 30,200. So it's an exciting time. Chainlink, one of my faves and my largest holding. It is doing some stuff here. And one thing I wanted to note, look at that thick amount of volume. Absolute shout out to everyone that was slamming into this thing at $7. Thick. It's a thick entry point. But now we are up into this $15 range. There is a good chunk of buying that happened right around this time frame, but that was a while ago, right? It's been stuck in this range for quite some time. Not much volume notable to speak about that it's running into. I mean, really, if you look up here, you can just kind of see where it happens right here in this level. We're, you know, in this range that we're in right now, $15, $13. Then you go up here. Had a good amount of buys right around the 16, 17 level, but it's definitely given some up, right? It's definitely given some up. I know. Hoovus, come back down. I'm crying. Me as well. Crying inside, you know. Absolutely. My wife, she's standing there looking at me, laughing at me. I want cheaper Chainlink and AVAX and Solana, you know, and I know that that's maybe why I won't get it, right? The market moves in mysterious ways, and you know, regardless of all the doom and gloom, you know, the macro economists that are, this is it. This is where we finally default, right? I know where your mindset is coming from. I understand. I align with you. I'm very prepped in case that does happen, right? To the best of my ability. But, you know, I'm not going to operate in a position of fear. I'm not going to make choices based off of fear. I make choices based off of information. Cheaper would be nice. Yes, shake and bake. Solana. Speaking of things that are not cheap, right? Oh, and you keep it in perspective, this thing pumped like crazy during the bull market. And with, you know, Kathy Wood's recent statements, I kind of was able to get to it a little bit in the main morning show today. But really what she's calling for is Solana to at least accomplish the market cap that Ethereum accomplished last bull market cycle. Let's just take a look at what things would look like if that were to occur, right? So let's go back actually to here. I want to make sure I got the right. Back out of this guy. I looked at his tokenomics this morning, but again, I look at tons of projects all day, and I like to make sure I'm on the money here. So we got a circulating supply currently at 422. Good thing I checked. Okay. And I know it definitely does have an emission schedule. I think I did the numbers. If I'm not mistaken, I think it lands somewhere around 475. God, why is that losing its mind? Am I getting hacked? Getting signed into this was weird. Oh, I'll just get closer. It's harder to hear me at night. Well, I'm going to get closer. Actually, I learned how to turn this thing off. The lock. It has a lock on it that, well, maybe it won't go. There we go. Not all the way up, but let me know. Now I'm probably blown out. And, I speak at a lower volume. I sing heavy metal, so, like, I pick and choose those battles when I want to be yelling. But basically, if Solana did accomplish, we take into account some inflation of the circulating supply right there, right? And, we put a custom market cap of 562 because that's the market cap that Ethereum accomplished last time. And, to think about Solana and being still third in line, right? Being just a strong competitor, not too crazy of a thing to think about. We've just been in the longest bear market in crypto history. So, you have to take that into context. We're just a little battered and beaten down. We're absolute savages for staying in this long and getting the entry points we did. So shout out to every single one of you that has done that. Absolutely sick moves. But this thing would turn into a $1,778 Avalanche or Solana token. That's incredible. That's incredible. To think about the context of that. And, reminiscing on the last bull market, it's not too out of shape for crypto to do this. You know what I mean? To see good, competitive, well-known projects. Now, the question is, can it handle the load of actual usage, right? We'll see that, but it's probably going to build a massive market cap and get to that point of massive usage. What is my conservative thoughts of XRP this bull run? I have two extreme situations. We basically could experience being passed up by other types of projects that are trying to intertwine themselves with the world of CBDCs and liquidity trades, all that stuff. And I know there's all these fancy terms that we make up along the way to try to encompass the movement of money. I get it. There's a lot of potential for XRP, but there are competitors, right? We have to understand that. And, one competitor in the banking sector and the world finance, and CBDC transfer and all this stuff is Quant. Let's see here. We got an American Pool guy. What's up? OG member, $10 super chat. Thank you. Drew, help me process this. Been DCAing for the past 2.5 years into the top 10 top 50 projects and have a good sized bag of them. Can't help but feel disappointment that they're on their way up, that we're on the way up now. You're feeling disappointment that they're on their way up, or are you feeling disappointment that they're on their way down? You have to bring up which projects those are. I'm curious about what your main holding is, American Pool guy. A lot of the market's been going up. I know there's been some particular projects like Quant that have stayed very stagnant. Last night I was going to do a Quant price prediction, and my computer shut down. But I'll get to that at the end of the show. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had moments where a large portion of my portfolio was outperforming the rest, or I had some small winners within that. But, learning to just take the profits on when it's good on that particular coin and then waiting for the times for the other ones, like Stellar and XRP are definitely in that kind of realm where it's like, I mean, and granted, I got into XRP and XLM at a very good price, right? So it's still up, very up. But I mean, me and TJ were talking about this. Like, he was talking about worrying about ADA, right? What if ADA is the next EOS? Like, we don't know. Like, these things get passed up if they stop getting developed on, they stop getting talked about. So you have to keep that and in mind. Yeah, please let me know. American Pool Guy, I wonder what your main holdings are, just to take a look at it, see how the token's doing and see what token it is. There's tokens that I'm worried about, like Algorand, for sure. I worry about Algorand. I worry about Cardano. But with that worry, I just keep in mind that it's a high risk, high reward type situation with those projects. And what they're going for is to end up in the top. The goal is to try to end up in the top 10. For whatever project that you have a good amount of. And, to make it into the top 10, even without ETFs, like I said, we're still going, in my opinion, I feel very conservative and open about saying that we're going to hit a $5 trillion market cap, even without all of this extra bullish stuff going on. So you have to try to find the projects that are going to make it in that top 10. That top 10 is probably going to house a minimum of projects that have around at least $100 billion. That's what I think. Feeling disappointed that we're actually going up. Wanted more time to DCA and even more. Gotcha. Yes. Feeling like my bags could be bigger. Want to build the best future for my family. I was only able to DCA so much. The awesome thing about DCA, just in general, so I understand your question. Like, the power of DCA is even if you were DCAing at the top of started DCAing at the top of the last bull market till now, you're still in profit, right? That's the kind of crazy thing about DCA, but you have to be consistent about it. I understand, kind of that disappointment that we're actually going up a little sooner than the market's expected. Yes, I hope so, Mojo. I do hope to see Algorand capture. And that's what the thing is. Algorand, you have that worry, but that's what all it takes is like hooking up with a Dutch central bank or just one particular central bank that wants to interoperate with the rest, right? And there's actually kind of tied to one of the largest stories of tonight with JP Morgan that we might as well get into right now. But I don't think that... Pool Guy, I don't think that you're in too much trouble. Now it's just really time to start thinking about, for me, more aggressive plays. And it was very against the grain for me to call a breakout of our favorite altcoins and layer ones back. It was September 8th when I hammered in. I made it public known, and I got a little flack for it. I got a lot of flack from really, well-respected TA people. But guess what? I met up with, hung out with Frankie a little bit, let him know the absolute savagery that I pulled off. And, me and Frankie, we get along. He does amazing work on, just, where the markets are in general. And, I kind of told him my path, but I do want to give a quick shout out to a video that we made that really goes into depth about the mindset of how I made that decision and what I'm looking at in the future. It's got an absolutely ridiculous thumbnail. I don't know what is going on here. Whoa! There it is. Huge gains. Win big in the bull market. Just put it up. Haven't tweeted it out yet. They got a little creative in the graphics department today, but that is a absolutely fantastic video. I'd recommend anyone that is in crypto right now to watch that video because it goes through the mindset, the setting the goal, and then the execution process, right? I'll save the whole process of it really gets specific on when I decided to unhouse my assets out of Bitcoin and go into more aggressive movements because I saw the pulse was coming back at large for altcoins. And we keep highlighting it with that stablecoin flow coming back into the green. It is right at the edge of turning real green. beyond all of the other bullish stuff that I'm going to get into tonight. I mean, this is going to be a stream. If you're working nights, cozy in, because we actually have a really good amount of news to cover. And we have Avalanche breaking in $21. $21. And the great thing to see about this is it is right on the edge of breaking out of this volume node. Like right on the edge of it, you guys. There is not much standing in the way of higher movements right now for Avalanche. As you can see, Solana has room to run really, really minimal volume up to around, I think, $77. So, yeah, well, we got Hobus, 53 and ADA at 29 cents. Yeah, that's a good entry. Okay. 81% of your portfolio. Very, very into it. Rest is AVAX, OP, and ETH. So you got some, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's, if ADA does end up in the top 10, well, and that's the thing is if you're going that hard into a project that you believe in, even if it makes like the top 15, but I mean, ADA's already kind of there, but anything within the top 15 is going to be really experiencing that massive influx that we see altcoins receive once Bitcoin really, really gets started cooking. Like last bull market, we'd have a few multiple $1,000 days to the upside, right? And then you would see it trickle down into the other altcoins, into all these other different picks over the next few weeks. That's how this process has always played out in my mindset. So, being, I'm heavy into Chainlink, and that mindset is all it's got to do is just keep positioned, keep that project going with Swift and the Australian central bank at the very least, minus all of the other tokenizing real estate that they've been talking about, all these other things. All it needs to do is hold on into that, near top 10 level, and it's going to crush it, you guys. Because as I said, in my opinion, conservatively, the top 10 are going to be made up with $100 billion market caps on up. Thank you, bro. Dude. Yes, David Marmion. Hopefully I said your name. I am terrible at saying people's names, but I thank you very much. I saw someone asking for where to get our t-shirt. I have the basement t-shirt. I rock this thing everywhere. I rock these things everywhere. They're fantastic. You can get them at hitmerch.com. I saw someone in the chat looking for that. And I really appreciate your guys' support. It means the absolute world. You've seen how crazy crypto Twitter got just today, right? The people that have stuck with us are absolute legends. The people that come back to us, I have open hearts for them. I understand the situation is very rough on everyone. So, and on a lighter note, well, I guess it depends on which side of the fence you're on. We have a Trump token, just crushing it. No big deal. Let's see here. It's at a $9 million market cap, as you can see. And yeah, it's moving up pretty good. So shout out Sistine Research. I brought that back up. It's a token that I had seen, but even if you've seen something and you've seen it all the time, sometimes it's just nice to be reminded, right? Because you get just enthralled with all the research and all the data, looking at all these different projects. It's really nice to follow good content creators, Sistine Research. Obviously, what we do at Discover Crypto, that's a whole think tank that goes into the presentation of the most valuable information for everyone that needs to know that day of, right? So a lot of work. Terrible mood. Spent last 3 days caught up in AA. Man, I'm sorry to hear, maybe Band-Aid. Sorry to hear. But glad you're here. Glad to see you, man. Yeah, so, that's a little degen pick that we have. And again, oh, wow, cyber attack. Not good. Not good. That's not good. Sorry to hear. Yeah, that hacking and cyber attacks, that's going to be one of the hardest hitting narrative for crypto to be pushed into just overall usage, in my opinion, you guys. Like, systems being hacked when they're trying to sell U.S. treasuries, right? Like, thinking about the context of the level of hacks that have happened over the past, decade even, soft hits into our energy sector. There's all kinds of systems that want completely encrypted data communication. That's just flat out. And if they're going to develop it proprietarily or if they're going to be open to a contract with, say, Constellation DAG, which is still in play. Exciting. That's where the real juice is for, and I don't know, you can't speculate on exactly what the tokenomic usage of the token is going to be if the Air Force starts using Constellation DAG to send information back and forth from F-35s to drones, right? You don't know what that tokenomic situation could be, and I'd be a fool if I could just spit it out and be like, that's what it's going to be. Anyone that does that, just walk the other way, because they don't. But you can look at what's being developed, and seeing that being developed makes me bullish on the project. It's a low cap coin, but I'm still in it to win it for it. Let's see here. So we got some news. Let's get into the news, you guys. First, this Sergey Nazarov of Chainlink, founder of Chainlink, predicts a financial reckoning that could lead to rapid crypto adoption. Okay, and now I know we hear this all the time, but he's got some really, really great things to say. Talks about a financial cataclysm that could trigger a rush into digital assets and blockchain ecosystems in a new interview with Ash Bennington on Real Vision. And I like Real Vision. It's a decent publication. Nazarov outlines what he calls a global correction back to reality, where blockchain tech is integrated into the financial tech and other industries to bring about a more trustworthy and verifiable economy. Here's what he said. This is the cool stuff. I think we're moving towards some class of an economic crisis in various economies because of a really, really weird but perhaps necessary, I can't tell, economic decision by various large actors, basically. And I also think that there will be a reckoning for all of that value and all of that. I also believe that blockchain tech will be gradually adopted for its massive benefits, and it'll do well in a market where everyone wants to interact with more assets. But I also believe that if there is a crisis, an economic crisis, blockchains will be a solution to creating a more transparent, more reliable world that doesn't depend on brands and doesn't depend on cryptography. It just depends on that actual cryptographic proof. Absolutely being able to prove your ownership digital asset wise and having a robust system that's not able to hack. That's extremely important to these gargantuan institutions, right? We're going to get into the plights of, the regular person that's just, trying to make it day by day. Later on in the show, it's getting real. And the worst thing about seeing this bull market boil up so insanely bullish is that the majority of regular people are barely able to make it right now. And that's why the power of DCA, showing the power that you can bring to your life by staying focused, finding the right projects, and staying committed, right? Having conviction. P.S. Crypto Patrick, what is up? Absolutely loved having you on the basement. Give him a shout out in the chat, you guys. Absolutely awesome person. All these portfolios reflect would be perfect for Discover Crypto membership, right? Let's see here. I gotta read that back. C90 FTW Drew. All of these portfolio reflects would be perfect for Discover Crypto membership. Right? Maybe thinking you're talking portfolio reacts. Potentially. Absolutely. I got my basement crew, my basement banditos. Is that what we're called now? Maybe we should make a shirt. Shared a picture of a chaotic chicken that represents one of the roosters I have this morning. Maybe we can put them on a shirt. But what Sergey is talking about here is very interesting. He's talking about really weird but perhaps necessary decisions made by various large actors. Pretty big words to come from the leader of one of the largest cryptocurrency systems in the world that's been in direct working relationship on building systems with SWIFT and the Australian and New Zealand Central Bank, right? That guy knows things. So seeing him say that, very, very interesting. And that plays into the overall idea that, you collapse it to offer a solution and build it back in the vision that you see fit. And maybe we are at that time, over the next 4 years. And I kind of feel like it, I'm watching for a major, major problem in 2027. Economically, civil unrest wise, across the board, you name it. I think things are boiling to a really bad point at that degree. That's why this bull market, we better hit it to win it, right? We better hit it to win it because we need to get our poop in a group. We need to get our horses in our stables. We got to get everything together because I think that it's going to actually get pretty tangibly ugly for the system. So keeping that in mind. Now this is exciting. Let's see here. I have to know, Drew, is the coffee mug placement on the... I think they do it on purpose. Sometimes it's not. How it was incepted was not on purpose. No Social Security by 2028. That is very tangible. Yes. So that's Sack Nasty. And they've been, you see, Sack Nasty, they've been moving that date where Social Security is going to run out, right? Moving it up by like 2 years, right? Just an inch, a little bit here. Here's the news, though. Here's the bullish stuff. Here's how we win. Here's how we get ahead of it, right? This is from Hoeim, Crypto Hoeim. JP Morgan has made a revolutionary move. They're tokenizing funds for blockchain integration. Now, yeah, they're using Onyx blockchain. We know that, right? Let's look what this means. Not just any blockchain. They're using Avalanche subnets. And this explains why Avalanche subnets are so bullish. But essentially, this looks like Onyx, the actual proprietary blockchain of JP Morgan, is interested in the overall architecture and design of Avalanche. That's fantastic news because that is kind of right where I wanted crypto to stay, in that communicator, in that translator realm where it can go from, bank or central bank to the people in a translation type mode. And yes, my camera's choppy. I might have to upgrade the internet here. I don't know. It was trying to kick me out earlier. It's been acting a little weird. But seeing JP Morgan come out and looking to work with Avalanche is absolutely insane. Through Onyx, and is probably tied into that RWA announcement that we saw earlier this week. This is insane, you guys. This is insane to see this happening in real time. This is just a little bit more on it. JP Morgan's Onyx teams up with Avalanche to streamline portfolio management. Proof of concept under Mass Project Guardian explores using DeFi tools to efficiently administer alternative assets. And we're just talking JP Morgan's Onyx Digital Assets Unit and $500 billion asset manager Apollo Global have joined forces with the Monetary Authority of Singapore for a proof of concept demonstrating how tokenization can streamline and automate portfolio management. This POC aims to address the historical challenges of trading and administering alternative assets, often seen operationally intensive and cumbersome to manage within traditional portfolios. It works better. It works better. No, you're good, C90. I love you guys letting me know how that's. I mean, I'm slapping this thing together. Whoa. I just saw myself jiggle a little bit. But yeah, guys, it's coming. Now, even if it's in testing at the next bull market, what do you think that's going to do, right? All the articles about these gigantic banks and, their proprietary systems working with yada yada project during the bull market, that is lit. Is this setup overheating? That's so funny. Yeah. So what's in the can? We got terrible. I haven't even taken a good drink. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, that was a big drink. All right. Now, Cardano holders. Speaking of Cardano, ADA hits profitability levels, highest profitability levels in 2023. Is it time to sell? Now, again, if you're an early get in and you're worried about the future of it, and you're positioned in the right spot, I mean, it's not, you never go poor taking profits, as DZ wonderfully says. But we are looking at a 37% rise following that altcoin rally that dominated majority last week, and holders seeing a profit that has reached the highest levels this year. Data from Into the Block shows this metric was 37.59% of all holders are in profit as of November 11th, which is the highest it's been so far this year. It's been rough. It's been rough holding Cardano. I had to take like a 20% profit and get out real quick and get send that back to Bitcoin. That was when it was at like 40 cents. It fell heavily, right? And now, God, where is Cardano? Let's just look at Cardano again. Cardano. Unbelievable. Charles is awesome. Okay. The guy's awesome. I really like Charlie. What in the hell? What is this? That drink is sinking in. Let's see here. So it's at 38 cents. So my God, I might be those. That's probably, honestly, see what I'm doing. I got out at 40. It's almost at 38. I don't know about the overall potential of it really exploding from here, but I do feel like it's going to be around in the next bull market, and that DeFi, side of it with Milk and I think LenFi really sticks out. And then Ajax, right? Ajax is within that ecosystem. So that's the smaller play that I have within it. Here's Cardano overall. Let's just show the gear. Well, I mean, maybe it might be nice to look at the overall too. I mean, you got to keep in mind, this thing stayed very, very asleep during this time frame from, June of 18 all the way. And essentially, I mean, it pretty much woke up here about like June of 2020, right? So 2 years of lull. Very long time of lull. So when it rips, it rips. Let's just do the flash test on that. I mean, slightly larger, but not a big deal on the emissions rate. The thing that's got really going against it, though, is it's like offering just absolute awesome freedom through staking and holding, custody of your crypto, which I don't know how much institutions are really going to be interested in that. And where is the big pile of middle-class Americans and retail that have a bunch of money to YOLO into it, right? It's hard to see. That's why the lower, like the ecosystem within it, is where my mind goes when I'm thinking about, when I'm thinking about ADA's potential, I'm thinking about the overall ecosystem, because it does have a very robust ecosystem built behind it. Very similar to Ethereum's capabilities as far as lending and DeFi and all that jazz. It's all there. Edward, there is one there. It's just not being used heavily. You know what I mean? And then, we did highlight, like, they don't count the TVL for Cardano the same way they count it for Ethereum. But it makes you wonder, right? It makes you wonder. So, yeah, and the stablecoin problem, right? I mean, Jed, I don't know. I mean, algorithmic stablecoins they got a black eye on them. And stablecoins at large are going to be gone after. I think that's what the Fed and Congress are going to target first. But some good news broke for stablecoins today. Finally, some good news for Tether. Class action lawsuit dismissed by judge. Let's check it out. In a significant legal victory, cryptocurrency companies Tether and Bitfinex have successfully fended off a class action lawsuit. Chief Judge Laura Taylor Samsonite denied Dolifka's request to amend her complaint against the companies following the decision. She chose not to appeal and made Judge Swain's decision in favor of Tether and Bitfinex final. That's fantastic news. That's fantastic news. They consistently go after Tether. They will go after it again. Next time they need a dip. It's like clockwork. And what's up, thumbnail investor? I see someone had a question. Someone that just got here. What was that? Where did that question go? I don't know. Scott Korn. Oh, yeah. Scorn Crypto. So, looks like the partnership is JP Morgan working with Avalanche and Onyx Blockchain. Thick. That's going to turn into something. I see something coming for Avalanche that just makes me very excited. I did get into Avalanche at about $10.50. Seeing it double up, it was only like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Very exciting momentum on the project now. We're seeing big green candles, so we all keep, it's so, I only buy very red time frames, right? And I DCA when I can, like through the process, but really I just like send it when it gets really bad. Is it going to calm down at 21? It's now at 21.3. It's at $21.30 right now. It's moving like a bat out of hell. Let's look at it again. Yeah, I mean, let's see. I gotta get a trackpad. I gotta get all this stuff. Look, the MACD is barely. I mean, you guys can't see that very clearly. Let me see if I can make that bigger. This MACD is barely just starting. Like, this was the bull market and all that sick, thick MACD action. You know, it's making some pulses through the last process of the bear market here. But look at this lovely stuff. That's the type of stuff I like to see. And so Avalanche is very, very, very good looking right now. And honestly, I had Evan Aldo. I brought up DAG. I still feel extremely bullish on DAG. I know it's like it's kind of asleep right now, but in general, it's set up for a really good move, especially because you have to think about this. DAG, one of the main best known direct acyclic graph projects out there, right? And if you know Caspa, who's mooning right now, is a ghost DAG. It's a direct acyclic graph as well, right? Slightly different, has slightly different mechanisms, but it's along the same overall nonlinear design. In Constellation, here we are. Here's the all-time price action. Let's go to the 1 year though. This is the double bottom that I'm thick. I'm serious about this. This is, in my opinion, altcoins double bottom in many, many projects. But if you're in a project, an altcoin, and you've been holding it and buying it as it goes down, you gotta kind of assess if it has enough notice in the mainstream public and institutional eyes, right? You see Kathy Woods, Larry Fink, all these other major talking heads starting to come out about it. Think about the potential of your project and where it might fit into those conversations, right? We have to think in that regards. I mean, it'll be a miracle if the middle class, I mean, it's up to us, you guys. If you guys, this is on us. If you're here, you're watching this, smash the like button, share this, send it everywhere. Get this information out to as many people outside of our area as possible, because they're getting crushed and we're in here having a great time, right? But there's some really bad things going on for people outside of this. So please, if you can, spread the message, man. It's like, it's very important. So good news on Tether. Glad to see the DOJ backing off. Now we have this. In other news, macroeconomists admit Drew's right. You know, no one listens to me when I say, I mean, yeah, that's not right. A lot of people listen to me, but people that, think they know more than they really do, very off on this call. The Fed has reached the terminal point of hiking cycle, calls for a drop for December rate hike. There is Jay Powell looking absolutely angry, very angry. He's got a hard job. And in essence, what this is talking about is some calls for, overall, they're looking at about 4 different rate cuts during 2024. We saw June. I was highlighting their admittance of June is likely when they're going to start rate cutting, but then it's even moved back to May, meaning that they have even less strength to keep the dollars expensive, right? They're addicted to quantitative easing. It's just the way it is. It's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm not responsible for why it's the way it is. I'm just bringing it up as it is to tell you how it goes. So, yeah, this is just macroeconomics. They're talking about like CPI and all these BS. If they did CPI honestly, they would, we would be crushed. We would be crushed. Yes, destroying an economy is hard work, and they have to layer it with lies upon lies upon lies, right? A liar just keeps building the lies, and then until they're on this mountain of falsehoods that eventually comes crashing down upon them like 1,000 suns. It's what happens. AVAX pumping, probably off the JP Morgan news, but also, honestly, like Kathy Woods bringing up an aggressive L1 within Solana. Then people are looking around for the next aggressive L1 to be right behind it. It's got a lot of stuff going for it, But then don't leave out OP and Arbitrum and Polygonomatic. Layer 2s on Ethereum are going to be right in that mix. We'll probably see one or two of them bust into the top 10 and be competing with these layer 1s when the juice gets cooking. So, the Fed stuff, they're just admitting they're wrong. But the interesting thing that I think about is, it just feels like this administration is just literally taking this entire economic collapse and just moving it in a pretty ball in a basket and just leaving it for the next president, whoever that might be, right? It's probably the great orange one that's going to have to deal with this. And they're basically just shoving this collapse down a few years. But if they do that, it will follow what happened in 1970 to 1980 as far as interest rates to a T, where essentially over the next 2 years, they're going to try to reduce the rates. They're going to try to give some ease, and then things get really crazy and they have to jackknife them all the way to, where they were. They were, a home mortgage was like 18% interest rate. So things get expensive real quick when that happens. We'll get into that. I'm going to talk about houses here in a minute. I should have Kevin Cage on my show. I should. I need more time. I create a lot of stuff, but I do more. I should hit up Kevin Cage. I should hit up Peter St. Onge. Guys, hit him up. Tag me in a post and get the message out there. Help me out. Help me catch their attention. You know what I mean? I honestly do a pretty terrible job talking about where to find me. Let's go. Make sure to follow me. Let's go to my profile. I am honestly, always thinking of a good ass post in the morning. Wake you up good and well. This is my backdrop just to get you in the right mood. And you can find me at Druth Crypto. So you can find me in Antarctica. And here's our Rumble account. I should probably update this and, I'll bring up all the other socials. Any other thoughts on Quant? Now, Quant is an aggressive competitor to Chainlink. There is no question in my mind about it. Chainlink is ahead of the curve because of longevity and some, connections that they've made with Swift and yada, yada, yada. Quant is a spicy project. And yes, it's been at $100 for like ever. I know. I'm going to pull it up again. It's got some of the best tokenomics in the game. It's got some great mentions through banks that are just highlighting that it can be used, but also has layers built within it that they can obfuscate different transactions. And we know major institutions don't want you to know everything, right? There's things built into Quant that attract them in that regard, right? So we're going to take a look at the price action. We got a $1.2 billion market cap. Let's go to the 1 year. Nice price show, but in general, this overall strength that it's held through this time frame, even though it's chunking downward, I still have the thesis that, and this isn't a W pattern or a double bottom essentially, but this is, in my opinion, a hard stop and a move on up. Anyone who got $85 Quant, big shout out to you. The thing about it is, it's a $1 billion market cap, right? This is number 49, I believe, is what I checked it was last night. So, let's go. And circulating supply almost fully out. It's got 12 million tokens out, and it's got a total of 14.8. So, thinking about Quant, if it's a good competitor to Chainlink, let's just say that it accomplishes what Chainlink did last bull market. Let's keep it conservative. Let's keep a level head, right? Let's not lose our heads. Let's look at what Chainlink did, just for some context. Because again, it is a good competitor to this project. No doubt about it. Quant floods my bags with its tech. It's good. There's no denying it. So we have a market cap of a total of $20 billion on May of 2021. And at this time, obviously Chainlink was wicked. It was costing $50 a piece, right? So, okay. And it's reasonable to think about Quant accomplishing what Chainlink did last market, right? This market is going to be growing even beyond where we're at right now. So, let's go about it like this. We're going to cook the number up for just assuming inflation. And I have a deep dive on its actual operation, but also I'm going to have to do a deep dive on the tokenomics, the inflation level, to get that hard-sided price prediction in my mind. Was it there? Yes. Take a poll. Let's see. Do you gamble, blackjack? I don't know. Put a poll in there. And you know what? You guys got to include me in bingo sometime. How about you? But that might be insider trading. So we have Quant. And let's see here. So, no, I don't think it's going to hit up. All right. So the Super Bowl scenario is what it auto-loaded onto the computer when I brought it up. But it just shows, what we're dealing with here. This is putting the complete supply out, 14.5 million Quant, or almost a full supply. It's 14.8. Let's just go full. Let's just go full Monty with it. It doesn't go that high. It's 14.6. But if it hits a $562 million or $1 billion market cap, that's what Ethereum did last time, right? So now we're talking if this hits number 3 or number 4, captures, $500 billion because Ethereum is past $1 trillion, Bitcoin's knocking on the door 2, maybe 2.5. This thing would be $38,000. Okay, so that's just to keep in context of what we're talking about if they capture that level. More reasonably, though, we're looking at if it accomplishes what Chainlink did last bull market, let's say 21 bill, right? Keeping it conservative, that's a $1,430 Quant token. That is a good move. We're keeping things in context. I've seen enough at a Quant and its mentions on, actual, you have to find presentations that are document form from different banks or, whatever organization is talking about these projects to find how they view them. But I have came across enough information to feel confident about Quant at least carving out a section of the market. I do. Render, absolutely ripping it. Catch, yes, Trump is at 9 mil right now. So, Quant, move to those levels would be a 14x from here. Their blast last night. That was like, I don't know what you say. Light fixture, maybe. I don't know. I have a lot of light fixtures. I have this other light in front of me. I like this light. It took some moving around. It's just, my wife likes it. My wife, she's looking at me. No, it's too bright with that. Oh. Yeah, yes, it was there last night, Nicole. And I just don't think I had it on. I'm trying to have the background. We built this thing. Light next to me? Oh, okay, let's see what this does. Oh, that's too much. See, that's too much. I don't like that. It's late at night. I'm going to drink the rest of my beer. Don't tell me what to do. I love you. No, they were just wondering if it was there last night. Yeah, no, definitely there. Black square thing, yes. We built that. I'm proud of this kitchen. It's operationally sound for having twins. Quant, I'm not sleeping on, you guys. You got to keep in context. Everyone talks about $1,000 Quant, right? $1,000 Quant is only accomplishing, a $15 billion market cap at its peak. Right? I think it's well capable of that. I saw a question about 10Xs I wanted to answer. If you can, drop it back in here. I don't know where it went. But yeah, you have to think in context of that. So we got the Fed admitting they're a bunch of pussycats. The SEC needed some more time on the Grayscale Ethereum Futures ETF. I'm sure they do, right? That's an Ethereum Futures ETF. Pretty big deal. Right. So that's going to take some time. It's going to take a moment for the SEC to chew on the fact that Ethereum is going to be looked at for futures and spot ETFs. It's coming. And the reason why they're going to have a major problem with this is because Gary Gensler was in front of Congress and he admitted that Ethereum, in his view, was not a security along with Bitcoin. Right. So then they have this whole smorgasbord of issues. He later went after Ethereum for being a security because we have control 51% or more of the validators in the United States, right? And then that's when you saw OFAC move in and cinch transactions within countries that were not NATO friendly, right? That's when you saw that. Zach Nasty, you really shouldn't be in a police car right now. You really shouldn't. Yeah, absolutely, American Pool Guy. Yeah, fellow husband and dad, I also feel the weight of the yoke is a hope we make it, especially with me being a shot caller. Bro, I know that feeling. Like, leads a family, like, if you're a parent right now, you got kids that are looking up to you, and in the face of all of this uncertainty, I'll post pictures of me putting this. My wife did the design. She's amazing at patterning, and we had to redo the entire subfloor, multiple levels, and re-level it. She was amazing. She saved my life on that part. You know, I know how to swing a hammer good and destroy things and build them back up. You know, generally, she's very technical though. So, yes, I feel that American Pool Guy, like, it's on our shoulders right now to make it for our kin, for our families. It's up to us. It's on our shoulders to spread the message of crypto, the message of inflation, and the message of hope, right? We need to be the message of hope. There's a lot of worry going on right now, but there's ways to get around it. There's ways to win. There's a lot of ways to win, especially with the power of the internet. So, with that being said, we all know flu season gave a lot of extra money, a lot of elbow room for Americans that were able to do forbearances on their mortgage payments, but also, you know, the government supplemental programs doubled. That's ended. But beyond that, we have forbearance of FHA insured single family mortgages is going to end this month, November 30th, 2023. Okay. And yes, it's, you have the forbearance period for up to 180 days within this setup. That's pretty concerning. We see evictions hitting all-time highs, but there is a bucket of cold water on the situation. You know, essentially, it's not like there is a lot less people using forbearance now than there were at like the peak of the fear, right? So it's much less, but it's much higher than it was before the fear began. So there's a lot of people that have been using that program that are going to be in a lot of trouble. Like, it's when you operate on a situation where, you know, you have all these, just all of a sudden you have extra bandwidth and you start building in little services and things in your life that you're paying for, then real quickly things can go SHTF if those allowances go away, right? That's thus the danger of, even if a CBDC is sound and doesn't shut you off, there's a danger in being completely reliant on it, right? So, you know, there's where the prepper in me comes in. It's, you know, things can get nasty that way, but, you know, things are getting nasty for, it's pretty expensive to buy a house, you guys. Like, I know we've had some pullbacks in major city centers, but this is the buying versus renting in America chart. It's upgraded all the time. It's Graham Stephan, at Graham Stephan. If you were to buy a $1 million home, you would have to put down a $200,000 down payment and take on mortgages of $5,600 per month, but pay an additional $1,000 in property taxes, insurance, and maintenance, with a grand total of $6,600 a month. Or you could just rent it for $3,900 a month, because the cost to rent is being absolutely outpaced by the cost to buy. This looks like the end of the game here. I mean, I know that we see this and you expect it just, just straight down, but this is going to take a moment. We're going to chunk for a few years and then a big bada boom. It's not looking good, but hopefully for me, things time out where interest rates are low, and we actually get that correction during the peak of the next bull. It's playing those time frames or being positioned when they come, absolutely overhaul your life. If you get a low interest rate at in the peak of a bull market and you can play those time frames correctly, And honestly, like even making that move in this situation, like you can live comfortably, but it's freaking expensive. It's freaking houses are getting costly. I was talking to my dad. He's like, the kids at Halloween skipped my house, even though I had gigantic Kit Kat and Snicker bars laid out in a bowl on the front porch. The kids passed his $800,000 home to go to the rich side of the neighborhood. That's the situation we're in. Think about that. That's insane. And I asked him when he said that, I was like, did you ever, in a million years, think that we would come to this point where an $800,000 home is not the rich side of town? I mean, okay, yeah, it's not like Beverly Hills, there's not massive mansions all over the place. Just crazy to think about. So yeah, if you get a chance and if you're positioned correctly, I know what I'm doing. I am interested in real estate. Also going to be looking at biotech stocks, things of that nature. After the next bull market, I'm going to be diversifying a little bit out and beyond crypto. I think the biotech and like the whole AI buildup and technological like advancement sector is going to be heavy in that 2028 time frame. Just from what my gut feelings are, that's just from what I've read on release time frames for different projects and companies that are coming out with those things. So yeah, man, some pretty amazing time in the markets. Shout out to anyone that got into a couple of our projects like Trump coin, just ripping. I mean, I don't know. It's a meme coin, right? So if you're up, you're up. Right. Let's see here. It goes up and down. Now it's at 8.7. So it's absolute chaos. Yeah, I prefer to appear far worse off than I am. That's a good mode of operandi right there. Absolutely. What do you want? Be some peacock that attracts all this attention, right? And then you get turned upside down and shook for your lunch money by Uncle Sam, whatever you might have. Yes, that is a good move to make, Tim Murphy. Yeah, this is pretty exciting time frames though, you guys. Like, it's not out of scope for me to be talking about price predictions in the $10 trillion market cap at whole for the peak of the next bull market with the spot ETFs being approved. Now, if they don't get approved, I'm going to be adjusting that. We have until May of the middle of next year, 2024, until all of the deadlines are due, right? But the first in line, ARK Invest, BlackRock. So that'll give us a really good bellwether on how the rest of those applications are going. I mean, it sounds too good to be true to get all of them approved at once. But it's being pushed for, and they're talking about it. So I'm pretty confident that Larry Fink is spot on from BlackRock, that he will get his spot Bitcoin ETF approved in January 2024. Along with that, I could expect ARK Invest and some of the earlier applicants to be, moving into the market. So it's going to get insane. It's going to get insane. The good news is that we have until April 17th of 2024 is when the estimated Bitcoin halving time frame is. So we do have good time frame from there, and we probably will see a good little correction generally around right after the halving. Just saying, you know what I mean? But then we see it recover and regain steam. So I'll give a brief kind of blip entry points on altcoins. We still have time. That's the good news. Honestly, guys, we have till the halving, super juicy entry points. After the halving, if you buy a good dip and you really kind of wait for it and have that patience, that's where I would turn off the consistent DCA mode, and I'd be waiting for just clear, big red candles, some floor to be created, and move on up from there. After the halving, that's what I'm looking for. For now, I'm looking at, just grabbing as many large bags of effective layer one projects as I can, like Avalanche. I did move in ICP heavily too. I like what ICP is doing. I know there's a lot of, worries about its centralized governance and all this FUD that constantly comes out about it. It's Rust-based blockchain that's trying to be a gigantic decentralized internet system for open open information flow. They did have a pretty good environment of like SocialFi apps and things like that. Just there wasn't a bunch of people using it. They worked, and people were getting tipped in ICP on those SocialFi platforms, but the use case, the amount of people is not there. There's just like there's a good community that talks about it. It's really good developers, very smooth operating. Like all the layout of the system is very, very nice. I think there's something there. They're just going for a lot, and that's one of my risky picks. But it is a good chunk of my portfolio. I'm more risk adverse this bull market. Last bull market I did great. But I got real lucky buying in middle of March when everything got so fearful, and I already had a bathroom full of toilet paper and a bunch of brass and lead, right? So I wasn't running out buying all that stuff. I had the ability to operate different, and that's the value of being prepped, right? You're not operating from a position of fear or scarcity. You're operating from a position of strength if you're prepared as best as you can. So we're looking good, you guys. Obviously I'm watching, and we brought up Pendlefly, the ecosystem below that. I'm going to be going more into the ecosystem within Arbitrum and Pendlefly. I feel like there's some good picks within that. But yeah, I'm not discounting some good layer ones like Avalanche. Feeling good about the entry. But you guys in the chat, absolute awesome. If you're catching this stream, you're watching, share with a friend. This is an absolute hoot. Let's finish this beer before we finish. Let's go. Two drinks. I drank this beer in 2 drinks. So I'm excited. It's gonna be hard to sleep. There's a lot of things moving. I think I got a good hold on the news for tomorrow, so I'm going to be digging even deeper on what else we can cover in the blockchain basement. Some of these, I've seen some rumors, talking about Casper. I want to dig a little bit more into Casper. See if it's something I'm interested in. Ryan Schultz, what are you going to do when the government takes your real estate? I'm going to have an alligator. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in a very, that's a tough get. Tough get. That's just all I'll say. But you guys are awesome. C90 FTW, Crimson Caravan Company, Ray, maybe a Band-Aid, Nicole Minutes, Tater, Ryan Schutz. You guys are fantastic for joining me today. Sack Nasty, as always. Make sure, if you don't already, you're coming into the stream after hours. Go to @Druth on Twitter and give me a follow. I absolutely drop chaos here. I'm going to drop a little more chaos than normal here, though. I decided I'm really going to up it. I'm taking complete control of all socials. So I am the captain. No. We're going to be going hard, and I have a bunch of DeSci picks, a really great DeSci video coming out, but also, guys, I'm going to drop this link in the chat. This is just an overscope of the mindset, the signals that I watched to get us here to ride into altcoins a little bit earlier than the majority or the vast majority of traders were able to do. I just dropped a link in the chat just to kind of explain myself, you guys, because it's working, and we can learn from this. We can apply this over the next few months as new narratives start popping up. We're going to sniff them out early. We're going to get ahead of them. That's where it is at. So until next time, you guys stay salty, share the stream, be wonderful to each other, be patient, and I'll see you tomorrow.